All right, in this lesson, we are going to be talking about the cash receipt process. So we talked about receiving cash within an organization in the last lesson, the very end. And so here we're going to expand a little bit and help you understand what that cash receipt process looks like. And then we also talked about some focuses of control activities in a previous lesson. We're going to show you how those focuses on control activities actually affect the cash process system or cash receipt process. And if we do it right, we're ensuring that the risk that cash would be stolen is down to a very minimal level. So let's take a look at the cash receipt process. What's the goal of the cash receipt process? Well, at the end of the day, the goal for internal controls for cash receipt is that companies receive the appropriate amount of cash they deserve and that the cash is safely deposited in their bank account in whole. So if the company is expecting to receive $100 in cash, the idea is that the company will receive $100 in cash. That cash will make it through its chain of command and get to the bank account and be deposited at $100. That's the goal at the end of the day. And internal controls that we put in place should help us efficiently and effectively do that at the end of the day without it being stolen or reduced in amount. So that's what we're trying to do at the end of the day. Now, companies need to set up proper internal controls related to cash to ensure cash is received and deposited as earned. So we want to make sure that that's done properly. And if it's not, then we need to put in additional internal controls or change our internal controls and processing in order to make sure that happens. So let's walk you through what a cash receipt process might actually look like for a company. So the first step here in this whole entire activity is that the items are scanned to be sold at the register, right? So you go to the register and we scan the item so that we know how much we're going to charge you as a customer. The second thing that happens is we collect the payment from the customer. So we'll exchange those goods for payments in cash. Once we've done that, and then we'll prepare what we call a cash count sheet. So at the end of the day, that cashier might take their drawer to the cashier's office, and then that cash is totaled up and compared to or prepared to, the cash is counted up, and then a cash count sheet is prepared to show how much cash was received and collected. Then from there, we're going to compare the cash in the register with maybe a cash count sheet. And usually the cash count sheet now is done electronically, and a computer system keeps track of the cash as the PO system is running. So that's how we can compare what's in the till versus what the cash count sheet shows. Then from there, we're going to store the cash in the vault, right? So we don't want to just hang it out anywhere we want. We want to actually in a safe place. We want to restrict the access. And then we want to complete the bank deposit. So we'll either complete the deposit and then an armored truck will come pick it up, or we'll take it to the bank and deposit it ourselves. Then from there, we're going to compare the cash deposit slip with the cash count sheet to make sure that they are the same, right? So we might give an employee this money to go ahead and deposit, but we want to make sure that what we gave them actually is deposited. So we'll independently verify that the amount that they deposited is exactly the amount that's on the cash count sheet. And then finally here, we're going to prepare the journal entries into the books. When we put it into the books, then we can say that the accounting cycle for the cash receipt process is complete for that cash for that day or for that instance. Okay. Now, how does this all work when we put controls in place? Well, think about this. So these are all the activities these are all the tasks within the cash process activity that we talked about, right? So notice that we do have some of the control activities that we talked about in another section right here. So for instance, notice that we've got different people in place. So the cashier is going to do the scanning, the collecting the payments, and then preparing the cash count sheet. The supervisor is going to review the cash in the register and the cash count sheet. They're going to store it in the vault, and they're going to prepare the bank deposit. And then we also have the accounting department who's going to do the comparison and prepare the journal entries. So we've identified who is responsible for these. So that is the assignment of responsibility that we talked about in a few lessons ago. And we also have segregation of duties. So this entire activity, not one person has custody of the entire activity. Each person or each department here has a different part of this activity. They've got responsibility for different tasks. Now, we don't always have to give the assignment of a task to different people. So I don't need to have, I've got 7 tasks here. I don't need, or 8 tasks here. I don't need 8 different people performing these tasks. I can group some of these tasks together and have one person do it, as long as the entire activity has multiple people that are responsible for different things. Now, we can also look at each one of these 8 here and look at what other focuses in internal controls that we're going to use. So scanning the items to be sold, that's documenting procedures, right? We're scanning them so that we can document what we've sold. Collecting customers' payments, we're going to restrict access. Prepare count sheet, we're also going to document. Compare, that's independently verify. We're going to restrict access because we're going to put the money in the vault. We are going to document our procedures in the face of depositing money into the bank. We got to document that somehow so that we know that our number matches what the bank says we're going to deposit. Comparison, independently verify, and then documenting the journal entry. So as you can see, we're using all of the techniques that we learned in internal controls and control activities here when we break down the activity into its different parts and make sure that we've kind of separated things to make sure that fraud can't happen in the cash collection process. Other sorts of cash receipts. So no matter what method a company receives cash, whether physically or electronically, controls need to be put in place to ensure the proper custody of the cash is maintained. So no matter how we do this, no matter what other ways we might collect cash, we still have to have this proper custody of cash. And in order to do that, we'll use internal controls to make that happen. So once we have good internal controls in place, then we can ensure that the cash that is collected is the amount that should be collected, but also the amount that should be deposited in the bank at the end of the day. So that is a look at the cash receipt process and how internal controls plays a good factor in the different parts. If we break down the activity into its individual tasks. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and we'll see you in the next video. Hey guys, it is Patrick. Don't forget to press the like button and share this video with someone who could get a lot of use from watching this lesson, like maybe a classmate or maybe a friend or maybe just a parent, just because you wanted to share this video because you're very excited about what you saw. Share it with someone. And if you want to help us grow and help us make sure that we put the very best in accounting topics out on YouTube, make sure you press the subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. That way you're alerted every time we post videos to this channel. Now, I do this with every one of my classes at the end of class. What did you learn from this lesson? Put that in the comment section below and I'll respond to you on what you got out of this video. So hope you enjoyed this video and we will see you in the next lesson.